Howdly doodly do, citizens of the nerdy world, welcome to the Fashionably Late review of Life is Strange True Colors Spoiler Edition review. Whatever.
Yep.
We are always fashionably late, but we still have lots of words to talk about this game created by Deck9 and published by Square Enix. If you have not played this game, watch our non-spoiler review, which should already be out by the time you are watching this. But after you've played that game, come and join us with our spoiler review, where we will talk about as much as we can. Basically, this might be some things that we forget, but there's basically going to be all the things that we loved and things that impacted us and everything, and story elements that we obviously could not talk about when we did our non-spoilers. So the warning's done. It's done and dusted. Spoilers in now. Don't know why I said that like that, but I don't care. Now. In. Fuck the countdown. Just get it now. Get now.
Out. Run.
Yes. Amy, we adore this game.
We do.
I've said this is my favorite game of 2021. What do you want to start with first when it comes to the spoilers?
No, I'm not doing this. You have to.
You want me to talk?
I have ADHD and possibly autism. You have to pick. I can't just choose. I'm sorry.
Okay. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the only real spoiler anyone knew about this game was the brother Gabe dies at the beginning of in the first episode. Basically, he dies, and you are trying to find out what happened. Is there some other mysterious things that have happened that could have maybe stopped him from dying, maybe, or was there other things happening that night? Blah blah blah. A lot of things happen. So basically, you at the first episode, you speak to you go through the town and everything, like seeing all these things, and you see a kid called Ethan. Ethan is a comic book creator, and he's brilliant at the same time. He's fantastic. You will fall in love with his character. He's awesome. He loves LARPs. We'll talk about that in episode for when we get to episode 3 conversation. But no, yes, he says, "I'm going to go to this quarry."
Yeah, it's like
old mine, the old mine, and even though it's apparently he's very dangerous and everything. On my end, I told Gabe, no, he's going there. I should tell you this. You did not hear me at all. I know you did not. I saw you. You sent me your details for it. But either way, I can probably tell you the same happens either way, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Guilt happens, Rudy. Guilt happens. Yeah. Severe guilt. And I'm not talking about Alex's guilt. I'm talking about my guilt.
yeah. All these leading up to this thing, to Gabe's death, basically, you go to find Ethan. You find Ethan, the die fly. I didn't get it. Go away. I'm talking fly. Go away. Where was I? Yeah, we're going to the quarry, chasing after Ethan. We get to Ethan, we save Ethan. Then an explosion happens, which we thought that was stopped. That Gabe called in and said he stopped and everything. And Gabe dies. Ryan has to make a choice. Gabe is hit by a rock and falls over the cliff. He's tied to a rope. Alex is holding on to him with Ryan. Ryan makes a decision of I either have to cut the rope and let my best friend die and let everyone else die, or kill Gabe and leave and hide it, would save everyone else. Ryan saves everyone else, cuts the rope, and saves Ethan and Alex, and Gabe dies.
I'm not being ignorant. I'm looking at our choice.
No worries. Was an incredibly powerful moment because you know it's coming, but you think it's going to come some other way, and they kind of blindside you that this is happening and everything. And they do it in a really good way, and I really like that. Why it's important to me is when you get to episode 2, and you're grieving, your character's grieving, all the other characters who loved Great Gabe, who you connect with, are grieving. Steph, you have an amazing time with her. I played foosball with her. It was fantastic. I beat her, which is even more fantastic. Yeah, Amy got distracted.
I won. Why? I won the jukebox game though.
I lost that, so that's all right. Yeah. Okay. But either way, you speak to everyone. You eventually go to speak to Ryan. Ryan's on the cliffside, the ravine where Gabe died, where he was leaning over of the choice of where he's basically mulling over the choice. This part, Amy, for me alone, was there's so many amazing scenes in this game. The romance scenes that you can have, especially if you romance Steph, the LARP, the ending, everything. But this scene for me personally was the scene that hit me the most. So Ryan's on the edge. He's grieving. He's struggling like hell of what he has done. He feels he killed Gabe, even though it was not his fault. He had to make a decision. And I'll say this right now, Ryan, I think you made the right decision, even though it is painful as hell. I can only imagine what you were going through. Then you have a choice with Alex. With her power, you can help feel what he's feeling. And it's nothing but red aura. And he's angry. He's pissed off. He's upset in the whole thing. And you feel it and you touch it. That scene, Amy, was so eye-opening for me because that has been my entire life for the last 9 months since my dad died in January. And seeing that was really eye-opening for me personally. It's like what I've gone through.
Yeah,
and that's the thing I'm going through. I think I'll still go through to this day.
Yeah.
And that was so beautifully encapsulated because it shows what a person's gone through with emotions and a loss or anything, and it's so well done.
There are a million different ways people react to grief, and this is obviously this is one of them, and it was a perfect representation of someone going through something horrible. There are multiple moments like that, where it's like they show the different ways in which people deal with loss, with grief. Some people are angry, some people are sad, depressed, some people will lash out. I'm really, really, really happy that you had a scene like this in a game like this that affected you in that way. Like for me, it was a beautiful scene. It was the first of many scenes that I cried at playing Life is Strange True Colors.
I cried a few times in this game.
I cried so many times. This was the first one. And like the scene itself and the way it plays out, it's like this is a game about, I said this in the spoiler-free review, this is a game about empathy and at the end of the day. And about understanding emotions. And I'm really bad at that. So like it was cool to like play a character who was also really bad at that. Like a character who has a lot of empathy, probably too much, but doesn't understand like the emotions that she's seeing around her or even feeling in herself. And that spoke to me a lot. So I think it hit me I think this scene hit me hard as well for different reasons.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Because this is the spoiler fucking review, so everybody who's watching this has played it. Like to see Alex feel that pain that Ryan is feeling and turn it into joy.
That also broke me as well.
That really, really got me. Like it was such a beautiful moment, and it wasn't overplayed. It wasn't overly dramatic. It was just it felt real.
Yeah.
Between two people, not two characters in a video game and a story, just two people going through something unimaginable.
Yeah, it was so well done. Like it encapsulates grief and happiness all in one perfect scene, and it's really, really well done.
Yeah,
and because of this, you connect with Ryan in such a great way, and that you realize he's really if you hadn't realized it in the first episode, you realize it by that episode that Ryan is an awesome dude. He's a great guy who will help you in any way he can and everything, and he does throughout the entire game. but till the end, depending on if you helped agree with
Depends who
him
you're
on what,
talking
depend on
to, doesn't
what,
it, Moody?
depend on what decision. If you backed him at the beginning of episode 2, which I did not. Yeah, I know. Which really annoyed me because I was like, no.
I'll tell you about the scene that you missed. It's quite moving. But yeah, like this is as good. This is a great scene that I wanted to focus on as well. So I'm glad you brought it up because it is wonderful. I don't think I need to go into any more detail with how I feel about it. It's just a beautiful scene. As you lie there and you're looking up the clouds and remembering Gabe not as a person who died very suddenly and very tragically, but as like this dumbass fucking story about like where Ryan convinced him that when he hit a goose, he was going to get arrested because it was a crime because it's a Canadian goose and Canadian geese are properties of the monarchy. So it's just a stupid, goofy story. But those are the best kinds. Like, those are my favorite stories to tell about my friends, where it's just like, it's just stupid, goofy shit that you just remember as being like, yeah, that was a thing, right?
Yeah, you felt the bond that both Gabe and Ryan had, and it was really, really well done.
This was a mistake. I'm realizing this was a mistake. I have to get through this without crying, and this was a mistake to do this podcast. I'm just saying. It's fine.
I've just cried.
I'm done. I'm out. Oh, shit.
This is how much I love this game, because two things have impacted me very much this year. After my dad's passing, this one was one of them, True Colors, Life is Strange 3. And Mitchell's versus the Machines on Sony's animated feature that's on Netflix, because that's a child and father story, and it's really well done as well in that as well. It's brilliant. If you haven't seen it, Lizzie, I'm going to check it out. It's arguably the best film of the year so far. But
it's on my list. It's on my list.
Yeah. But no, yeah, this get back to Life is Strange. Like, this is just like, it's so well done. Like, Gabe, he's, like you said in the non-spoiler, the first episode is his. He's basically the protagonist, even though you're playing Alex, because you're getting to know him as fast as you can, and he do it. Even though I say fast as I can, I mean in the length of the episode, and he do it in such a great way, and I loved it. Like, when you turn up, you have a choice. Do you want to just
don't
hug
have
him?
a choice?
I did. I'm pretty sure you have a hug. You can hug or you shake his hand.
Yeah. Nope.
And I hug.
Nobody shook his hand. 4% of people are wrong. Simple as that. You hug them.
Those 4% are heathens.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
Some people don't like hugs. Some people don't like hugs. That's fine. It's a valid lifestyle choice. But like, the way you bond with him, like, there's a lot of cool moments. There's only one that really sticks out to me as something I want to just highlight. It was the moment I knew I was gonna love this game, and it was the Kings of Leon moment. Like, you just rock out with Gabe. He puts the Kings of Leon record on that you've just bought him from the record store. And he's doing his air drum thing, and he throws the broom. He gives you the broom, and you just air guitar. And I sent Moody a picture, and I was like, I fucking love this game. And I knew at that point.
How Alex lifts that broom up is badass. It's like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. And then she just like,
it leads into a pretty intense scene where you learn about Alex and Alex's powers, and how they affect her, at least in the beginning of the game. But like, that moment was the moment I knew, I mean, I'm all the way in, and this game is going to be great. Yeah.
I think it's probably fair. I think it's voice of fair scene. Like, it's in a beautiful scene. Like you say, you're connecting with your brother, and then you obviously there's an intense scene right after it where there's this jealous boy thinking Gabe's cheating on with his girlfriend, blah blah blah. And the whole thing happens, and then you beat the living shit out of that guy.
Fuck you, Mark. Never liked you anyway, you son of a bitch.
I thought it was a dream at first, and then you say, oh, Gabe's actually dragging me off. It's not a dream. It's not a dream.
Fuck off me. Don't fucking throw hands at anyone.
Poor.
Alex.
Yeah.
And I will not feel sorry for Mike. He's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Yes.
Mike is a piece of shit, no doubt about it. There's elements that I felt from just a little bit because you got as an anxiety attack in the game, which I've gone through myself, and it's really scary. But other than that, yes, he is a piece of shit of a character. He's meant to be, so that's why I still say all the characters are brilliant, because their specific job is what they do, and they do it brilliantly. So like Mike you are meant to not like Mike. And that's brilliant about it, and that's what's so good about this game. They do, all of your characters meant to be liked and not liked at certain elements, and they do a really great job about that.
They do a good job of hitting that. Like, every character has a moment. Like, there's 2 characters in particular in this game. Well, technically, I guess there's 3. This isn't the spoiler-free review. I mean, there's 3 characters in this game who are bad. Let's say they're bad. But all 3 of them have like great moments of humanization throughout the game. Like, either in Mac's case when he's having that anxiety attack, and you know, I still dislike you with a fiery passion, but like I still choose to help because that's just the kind of person that I am, and I am better than you, Mac. Diane, like, she's just an unlikable person, and
even though if you get Steph to flirt with her is one of the funniest.
What I was about to
ever.
say, if you get Steph to flirt with her, you get a truly epic, amazing scene. The gay panic is unbelievable. It's just so entertaining. So I can't be too mad at you, Diane, because you gave me one of my favorite scenes in the entire game. And Jed as well, which we'll talk about later, where it's just like he's such a rock throughout the entire game, and
yeah.
And
what made it
in
even
chapter
more
4,
worse.
when we're talking in the bar, and we will talk about this in more detail, but in chapter 4, when you're talking at the bar, and it's just like, I'm acutely aware I'm playing a Life is Strange game, and I don't think this conversation is going to end well. Because this is Life is Strange, and there's a twist coming.
And it's only one episode left, and we gotta get things done and everything. Yeah,
but like, yeah, it's just like, yeah. This is what I meant in the thing where I was talking about every character is great, like, because every character is great.
Really, yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Like,
no.
next?
Like, let's just get into it, Steph. Let's get into
Phrasing.
this.
Steph is. How do you even
Amazing.
describe it? How do you even describe it? Like, from minute 1, you walk into the record store in episode 1, and she's just fucking rocking out in a record booth.
Away.
Like,
Kung
it
fu.
is
Drumming while doing kung fu fighting or something.
It is one of the coolest character introductions I've ever seen. Like, you don't talk to her in your first interaction with her. Like, she's rocking out behind the glass. You knock on the glass. She turns around. She sees you. She holds up 2 albums. You pick one, and then she puts it on the radio, and she's like, "Oh, this is you know, whatever the song is, Zombie Unicorns, I think it was. I picked and then she's just giving you that look, and she's like, "Oh, it was requested by some chick," and I'm just like, "Well, madam, oh no,
Like,
oh shit,
it's getting hot in here. Leave now. Leave now. We got this bits that you don't want to see."
And
But
throughout
no,
the
yeah.
entire game, like everything, every interaction, and I feel the same about Ryan as well.
Yeah.
He's the other love interest. I feel like he's gonna get the short end of the stick because he's still an excellent character. You form a really great friendship with, and I'm sure his romance arc is also really good. But like, Steph is just on another level. Every interaction you have with Steph, it's just something else.
Amazing. She
It's
is
amazing.
amazing. She's on your side basically right from the beginning. Basically, especially from episode 2. Like, you help her with her grieving, which helps you connect with her even more. And like, you have a choice. You can play foosball, play air guitar, I think, listen to music or play a video game. I played foosball with her, and it was just so good. And I understand where you were saying she's so distracting. Yes, she tries to distract you, and I
Well,
think that's kind of
she
intentional.
does, like, so, like, it's Life is Strange. It's an adventure game. You don't really have much gameplay, but in that moment, you're playing foosball by, like, with the triggers. So you're watching the thing, and it's like, and she's just talking to you in the third one. Like, by the time you get to, because you play 3 times, and by the time you get the third time, like, what you're doing in the scene is obviously you're trying to, like, help her through her depression, because she's very, very, very upset because Gabe is dead. She's also the one, I just want, just before that, where she comes up, because everybody else is fucking arguing in the bar, and Alex walks away because Alex is incredibly upset and doesn't want to see this. She's the only one that notices.
And comes right up. And that's why I think I connected with her straight away and went to thinking, I'm going to romance you. You are
I
the
don't even
one.
care if it's an option or not. This is
Yeah.
happening. But yeah, it's just like you're playing foosball, and in that third match where she's just like, "Oh, so are you into guys? You're into girls?" And then you can reply, "Oh yeah, girls are great." You're like, "Yeah, girls are great." Like, especially once you like are into music, have a run a record store, wear awesome beanies, and I lost a foosball game. Thanks, Steph. It was dirty, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, I beat it, and Alex's reaction is so Gabe-like, and Steph even says that, like, that is so Gabe-like, and I hate you for that. But I also love it because she's like, "So thank you, I needed this type of thing," and I was just like,
yeah, no, when
Steph.
when you lose, she's upset. She's annoyed because it's not fun because you're not a sore loser. You just like, good game, and she's just like, well, this is not fun.
No. So for me, I think she says that, which I think she also says, "Well, you're just like Gabe, you're a sore winner," or something like that. I can't fully remember, but it's so good. Like, it's so endearing and so amazing. Then obviously you move into episode 3 with her, and there's episode 4, which gets awesome, but episode 3 is full on awesome. Now I think it's a good time. This is a good place where we can get into the LARP, and this is where we can bring Ethan into this as well. Go on.
I just want to again talk about the Diane scene at the beginning of episode 3.
Go on.
It's fucking incredible. Where it's like, that's how, because it's essentially what you pick who you want to romance, because they're both like, "Oh, what's the plan?" So what's the plan? It's like, "Well, I'll distract if I hit on it." And then you're like, "That's a shit plan, Ryan. What do you got?" And Ryan's just like, "Well, it's the same plan, but I'm the one hitting on it." And I just love that. It's just like,
to them both, saying,
"Oh fucking hell,
those
plans are fucking awful."
Worse.
And then it's like, "Well, who would you send over?" And it's like, "Oh no, don't make me do this. Don't make me do this while Ryan's here." And then she comes over and she hits on her, and it's the funniest fucking thing ever.
It really is. It's like,
It's just like, I think, what is it like? I sent you the screenshot of Alex just saying, "I think you legitimately are walking something in her," and I was like, "I think you did." Like,
well, hell yeah, I think she definitely did. And then Diane goes off to prison, so it's all right at the end. But who cares? I'll get sacked. I don't know which one she goes happens, but yeah, it's really, 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 really awesome. I was just thinking, before we get into like chapter 3, do you want to go a few more characters in, or do you want to spread it out here?
I mean, there's other cool stuff that happens like throughout the first 2 chapters. Like, you can get Riley to dump Mac, which is just the best thing for her, honestly. Like, then there's the stuff with Eleanor and her memory, but like, it's really cool. But I just kind of want to focus on the really, really cool stuff, if that makes sense. Like, if I'm missing stuff or I'm not talking about stuff or bringing it up, it's not that I didn't think it was awesome. I thought most of the game was awesome, but like, there are things that stand out to me.
That's fair. Okay. So we'll go back to what we're saying, the LARP. We'll bring Ethan into this and everything like that. Ethan, we'll just say right now, Ethan is suffering like crazy, and this is to help him. And it's so great that, because he feels like it's his fault. That the Gabe died and everything.
There's other one as well, which I think might have been from an earlier episode, and you try to talk to him.
Yeah, he refuses to. It's episode 2. He basically just he wants to be left alone.
He's sick of all the adults telling him it's okay or it's gonna be okay, and like, I really felt that. Like, that was such a cool sort of That's such a cool piece of writing, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're a kid going through this stuff, and like I can remember, like dimly remember when my grand passed away, when I was in middle school. I thought that happened a lot to me too. Like everybody will tell you it's gonna be okay or it's okay, and that is really fucking annoying. Because you know what, it's not. Like, and that's fine. Like, just let me deal. So I really liked that Ethan. It wasn't something you could fix with your empathy powers right away. It wasn't something that he wanted to talk about. It wasn't even something that he wanted to verbalize. You have to read that through his emotions, with Alex's powers. And I thought it was a really, really cleverly written, very small moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really well done. And like I say, it's expanded even more when we get to episode 3 with the LARP. The LARP is amazing, Amy. I'm just going to say this. Like, I can literally now, I'm like, I think I kind of might want to join you guys for a D&D one day. I might actually want to do this. I've been contemplating it, but I'm just like, do I really want to do it? But then when I was playing this, I was thinking, I am really getting into this. And yes, Steph, that was a legitimate proposal.
It was.
Even though you technically weren't
Can we
in.
talk about that? Because it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole game. Like, it's like the only time you get the upper hand on Steph. It's incredible. Like, halfway through the laugh when you walk in at the shop and she's in a witchy outfit, and I'm just like, how can I still be falling and more in love? Shouldn't be possible. And it's like, oh, this thing costs you, the crystal that you need costs too much. And it's like, oh, well, maybe I can offer you something else. And the dialogue option comes up, and Alex just goes full on fucking, well, I could offer you my hand in marriage and all of the associated benefits. And it just gets back to Steph, and she's just like,
what? I think she has a heart attack when that happens.
I've been in that shit. I've been in that position. I've been in Steph's position. So I understood the reaction completely. Or it's just like, wait. My brain. Hold on. My brain's resetting.
Well, yeah, I think her brain crashed a few times and she had to readjust some things. But yeah.
I wanted to talk about, like, in the spoiler free where we were talking about, I wanted so badly to talk about that moment.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's just so
good. It really is. And Ethan is adorable. He's like,
Ethan,
God.
Yeah, it's like she does the whole thing.
Real.
And then, Ethan just goes, shit. This just got real.
And he's okay. He's just like, I'm good. I can leave.
Let me just take a step back a second. Let you do your thing.
Basically didn't moonwalk back out. But no, yeah, that was one of the most funniest and endearing scenes in the game. It really is so well done, because this is why I think the facial cameras and the visuals help. Like, the improvement in visuals really helped this scene, and in a lot of scenes in general, which we'll get into. That scene, like, because you can see, like, her brain breaks when that happens, and you can see it,
and you can see how much fun that Alex is having.
Yeah, she is teasing the crap out of her, and Alex is loving it, and Steph is just basically just had a crash.
And the little wink when she walks out, and she's just like, be still my gay heart. But yeah, you're right. It's like that holy sort of, it's not a trilogy because there's 4 of them, but it's like that holy sort of, like, 4-sided trinity of, like, writing, performance, facial capture, and animation that really, like, sells a lot of this game.
Because it's like, it's so well done with just how they like, she leans on the table,
she just leans
with her hands, and Steph's just like, you can see, like I've said it all the time, when I say it again, she literally crashes. Her brain, you can see it in her eyes that she's literally readjusting certain things in her brain right now, because she doesn't know if this is real or not.
Yeah. That's the fun thing about Alex's powers, because you can read people's emotions, you can sort of figure out what they're thinking.
This is what, but I loved it even more because you didn't see any aura. You could just tell because of the animation and the performance. You could see your brain is just crashed right now and you're reloading right now.
Yeah, Can we talk about as well? Like, there's there's a few more things I want to talk about the LARP. Can we talk about how adorable Ryan is as all of the monsters?
Right, that's awesome. This is why, like, say, that's why, like we said, like, they're the best friend squad. They are the brand new best friend squad in this game. Check out She-Ra if you want to know what I mean when a best friend squad and everything. But yes, this is like basically what I mean. Like, these three are awesome together, and Ryan is so awesome. Even though you don't romance him, it doesn't get pushed aside. He's still an awesome character who wants to be your friend, basically, and everything, and that's awesome. There's been playing plenty of games that I was thinking, oh, you don't want me.
Like
Then
I said,
fuck
I don't
off.
know if I said it in the video or just to you privately, but the scene where all three of them they've stolen Diane's USB stick and they sneak off and they sneak up into and they're giggling away, and I was just like, these guys are like, this is such a great depiction of like three best friends. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Especially in games where you have options for romancing characters, like like you don't get to see a lot of, or at least not until the last sort of few years, you don't really get to see a lot of games do such a good job of representing best friendship as this has done, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's so well done. I loved it. I loved it. Who was the villain at the end, which is kind of ominous. Now looking back on it, when I think about it right now, I'm just thinking, oh no.
I loved how she got so into it that it became real.
Yeah, that's what's so awesome about it. It got so real and literally turned into a turned RPG game for a couple of moments, which was just so awesome about it. But I also love that you have a choice where you can, when you're fighting like Ryan, or like when he's the Rolf, you basically have to fight him. But when it comes to the other twos, the
you
other
have
two, the
options.
Snake or the Gobbler, the Ogre, you can put them to sleep or you can pay for the thing and everything. And it's just sounds like that's a nice little touch.
It's a nice touch. I loved Ryan as the Snake when he's like, when you start ringing the bell, and then he's like, you have to actually you need to pretend that's a low sound because snakes can't hear high pitched sounds.
And she's real.
It's right in your face. And then he just goes, oh, okay, fine. And he's like, starts falling as but as a snake, so he's still making snake noises. It's just like, you're such a great guy. Like,
yeah, he really.
I'm sorry, I'm not straight. You're such a great guy, though.
I'm sorry I didn't side with you at the beginning of episode 2 because you betrayed me at the end of episode 5, and I was just like, no.
Did he? I wouldn't know.
Bugger off. Hey, I got everybody on my side.
Oh, I'm a good person.
I thought I was being good. Okay, leave me alone. No, yeah. Yeah, the LARP's absolutely amazing. I like it. Like, whenever you guys are starting a proper new one, I think I'll join you. We'll have to have a talk about it
we don't LARP, but we do roleplay. So, you're always more than welcome.
Yeah, LARP is basically D&D role.
It's D&D, but without the running around actually doing stuff. Like, it's basically this, but with the power of imagination.
They'll be laughing even more. It looks like it got on the DLC with Steph. Because she
is the ultimate queen of my heart. So that makes sense.
Yes, that's true. Even though Alex isn't there. But hopefully we will still see Gabe because he should be there. So hopefully we'll see Gabe. For the DLC, but is there any more for the episode 3 you want to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, we could talk about Charlotte, because I really liked that scene. Because
trying to help
they
her.
don't. I mean, the choice that you make at the end is to me, it's a big moment in the story, and it does have a massive effect on the rest of that character, the character's character arc, their story arc. But for me, I thought the really, really interesting part was where they didn't try and blunt the message or like what they were doing with Charlotte as a character. Like, she has, like, when you get there, like, and she's bashing on the sculpture with the hammer, and it's like she has an incredible amount of anger inside of her, and you do your thing as Alex, and you sort of pick away at it and figure out where it's coming from, and it's just like, and then she's the almost confession that you get where it's just like, look, I hate my own son because of what happened at the beginning of of the game,
Yeah.
because if Ethan hadn't have gone out into the mine, none of the rest of you would have been there. When the
And Gabe would
explosion
still
went
be
off,
alive.
and
Yeah.
Gabe would still be alive. And like, it's an understandable reaction. Like,
Yeah.
it's a horrible situation, and there is no right way to respond. There is no right way. Sorry, there is no wrong way or right way to respond to such something like that happening. And I just thought it was. I don't want to say brave. What I don't know, but I don't know the word I'm looking for. But I liked that they went there, and I liked that they didn't shy away from it.
Yes. Yeah. Charlotte's like, I'll say this right now. I think Charlotte's probably more me. At the end of the day, like I could like going for what, like how out for my dad and everything like that. I still am to this day a little bit very angry at a lot of things in my that happened and everything. Looking back, could I have done better? Could I have done more? Could she's probably thinking, could she have done more and everything? And so many elements and whatnot. And it's like heartbreaking to see that. So obviously we'll say this, like I took Charlotte's pain away. Basically, right after it, I was thinking, have I done the wrong thing there? And basically, the answer is yes. For me, I did do the wrong thing there, because when you see her again in episode 4, she's basically numb. Like, she's not processing anything really very well. And she's a completely different person.
So that was,
and she doesn't side with you at the end.
Yeah, like I'm not really that the consequence at the end of the game is an afterthought for me. In terms of like how, like, if no one had sided with me at the end, I wouldn't have been particularly bothered. Like I'm much more, when it comes to choice-based games, this is why I'm never bothered when like choice-based games don't have enough consequences or whatever, because I'm all about like choice in the moment, right? Like I'm not trying to like affect an outcome of a video game. I'm just like trying to like be myself, be this character, be Alex in the moment. So
what I mean, I'm sorry for putting in there. What I mean for myself, like I instantly realized I think I've picked the wrong thing there. And that's what's
like
so
before
awesome.
You even saw the consequences,
Yeah, like I automatically thinking, I've done wrong there. I think I have, and then obviously it did come true. And I don't mean just for the end of the game or anything like that. I just mean when I saw her next, I was thinking, you don't seem right, and I'm kind of worried.
I'm just clarifying for the other people who are watching this. Who might be confused. Like I came very close because I was at first approaching it like a video game morality question, where it's just like, what would be the right thing in this video game's eyes? Until I stopped to think about it, and then I was like, no, like whatever emotion, powerful emotions get drawn up by grief. That is part of the process, and it sucks so much, but it's important.
Yeah,
and
like
that's where I came out, where I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Like, I can't take your anger away from you, because as much as it sucks, it's part of the healing process.
Yeah, like what you just said there is pretty spot on. Like I may like scream to myself, like looking back on it and go, not scream at myself, like there's probably elements of my life where I've been saying I want someone to take my pain away. I need this pain, it's killing me and everything like that. But now looking at it, like I said, I instantly knew I did wrong there. I was thinking, no, you shouldn't have done that. She needs to learn from it and grow from it, and basically, and that like I am doing and everything, and like that's what's so great about it. Like you think you're doing the right thing, but actually you haven't. And I would say overall, all the choices are like they really give you a choice of thinking, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I not? Should I do and all like that? I think for me, most of the choices are very much like that.
Yeah, I agree. There's all sorts of choices littered throughout the game, like big and small, where it's just like, should I? Like, Alex makes a joke in the first episode of True Colors where she comes across the two friends who are both into each other, and it's super obvious, even without having like emotion reading powers, that they're super into each other. And you read both of their emotions, and you're like, oh, I should definitely help them. And then she makes the joke where she's like, no, what? Why? It's not my business. Ironically, you do later can just get involved out of, I think, just sheer annoyance later on in the game.
I think so, yeah.
But I like that question is it was in my mind constantly as I was playing, where I was like, there were moments where it wasn't a question of should I do X or Y. There was also the Z option where it was like, should I even get involved?
Yeah.
Like, is this something that would benefit from my involvement? So I thought that was really cool. Like, in you play a video game with choice based mechanics, you know, and you're always on the lookout for making choices and like, should I do the thing or should I do the other thing? And sometimes nothing is the right option. Like Telltale Games had it right when they made The Walking Dead. Sometimes saying nothing is a good option. Like, it's a perfectly legitimate, valid response. And I think I appreciate choice-based games a lot more when they recognize that sometimes not getting involved is perfectly valid.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's move on to episode 4. I mean, I think
My heart
this is where
exploded.
I think my heart exploded as well. So there's this festival going on where everyone's coming together and everything. Obviously, Steph's there as the DJ, basically setting up Riff Ryan and everything. It's obviously awesome moments and everything in that part, but there's obviously little nuances throughout this little area, which is really well done. You got a jelly bean person where you can help count how many jelly beans is there, which is really well done. I think it's
I
really
agree.
endearing.
You can walk down the street and you can find those two that I mentioned earlier, the two friends, and it's just like, I don't know about you, but I just picked the option where I was like, for God's sake, just make out already.
I said, oh, you guys look like a cute couple.
No, I
And
was
they went,
just
what,
like,
really?
I was done with this shit. I was just like, just make out already. Everybody knows.
Everyone knows, guys. Let's
And
get
then
a
she
room.
invites him back to his place. It's quite cool. But
Oh,
yeah,
very good.
like it's those little things, right? It's just like at the beginning when you're doing the stuff in the bar, and you can like there's the jogger who wants to get back into jogging, but she thinks she's gonna be too unfit. She's gonna embarrass herself, and you can very gently just give her the nudge, and then you see her later on, and she's gone for a run. She feels amazing.
Yeah.
It's not just about the big, huge, life-altering moments. Sometimes it's about the smaller moments too, and I really appreciate that.
I would say it's more about the small moments in this game than it is about the big moments. And that's because that's what makes it even more deep, because it makes the world around you, this little small town, more livable and believable, and that's what's so well done about it.
Like for all the cool story beats and character beats that you get as you're walking around the festival. In episode 4, like you get to see a lot of the jelly bean guy is the guy whose dog you found in an earlier episode, and like you get to walk past other characters who have benefited from your presence in a positive way, and you see all these little cool things happening to all these people around you. It's great.
It really is. It really is. So there's an element in this game, in this level, where you can pick a flower and give it to the person who you want to basically romance and everything. And obviously,
on the screen right now.
Perfect timing. But obviously, as you can tell already, both me and Amy both romance Steph and everything. And when you give Steph the flower, it's just like, it's amazing. It's so good, because she can literally see, she's like, oh my God, this could actually happen. She's thinking, you could see it in her eyes and seeing the emotions. She's like, oh wait, there's a person who actually likes me. And I'm just like, yes, of course, you're awesome. Who would like you?
I was serious about the marriage thing. Call me.
Yes, we were very serious, Steph. There's
put a ring
no doubt
on it.
about that.
Put a ring on it. Come on.
I was trying to put a ring on you. With all the benefits.
All the associated benefits.
But going from that, before we get to she invites you to, can we meet up later on? But before that, we go to the scene I think is your favorite scene.
It is, but before that, I do want to just shout out the scene with Ducky. Because Ducky is a very minor character in the game. Like, you see a lot of him, but on the social media that exists on your phone, which, by the way, I love reading through that. I read everything on that. It's so cool. Where he's in because he's such a happy, chill guy. And then you can find him in the bar during the festival, and he's really upset because like the festival always reminds me of his wife, who passed away several years before, and you just get this amazing moment of you do the things, and you do Alex's emotion powers, and then you figure out what can help him, and it's not like supernaturally taking away his sadness or like doing anything. It's just simply turning a jukebox on and dancing with him, and you have
Yeah.
this beautiful small moment. And I just wanted to point it out. It's just
No, you are.
from
It
the
is
stats,
beautiful.
that you see at the end of each chapter. A lot of people miss that, and I can understand
Yes.
that because it's quite far out of the way.
Yeah.
But it's such a nice moment to just be able to find, and then the conversation after that you can have, the small conversation where it's like, oh, you remind me of my wife, not because of us dancing to our song, but just because like there's this whole festival going on outside, and you came in here to help a sad old man, and that's exactly what she would have done.
Yeah. To what I can tell from the things that I saw from the stats and everything, there was a couple of things that people missed on chapter 4. It was obviously that one with the ducky, but it was also with
Riley.
Riley who
Yeah.
leaves. Or you can stop leaving, telling her the truth and everything, or she leaves and everything. But a lot of people I've noticed did miss that and everything. Good, and that's clearly, it's just clearly to me that they've just stuck around that little area where the festival's going on, and you haven't explored the town, which is a detriment. It's this to them. It's like, so you're not experiencing the full story, but that's your choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I won't
It's
this
not-
on anyone.
It's not invalid. It's a
Yeah.
cool little moment, and obviously we
Yeah.
diverged greatly on Eleanor and Riley's entire storyline, I think.
Yeah, because I got Riley to stay.
I just didn't bring it up. I was just like, you know what?
Run.
Eleanor wants you to have this life.
Yeah.
Go have it.
Yeah, I was tempted to do that, but I was just thinking, oh, but Eleanor needs help. And then I was thinking, but I think
She's
because
got
I've
all of
got
us.
to yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, it's all good. But no, yeah. Let's get back to your favorite scene, Amy.
It's the music scene. It's the scene where they're
The
setting
music.
up the stage. And Steph's like, I'm
Yes.
going to play. And Alex is just like, oh, well, who else is playing?
And Ryan and Steph were just looking at her, and she's like, guys,
But who else is
who
playing?
else is playing? I hate you both.
And then it just cuts to her. She's standing on the stage with the guitar. I hate you both.
We only did it so you wouldn't rush out. What's
Wussing
that
out
so
is underrated.
What's that so underrated?
then you
I
rock
said
the
I wouldn't have
shit.
rushed out.
Yeah, and then you rock the shit out of the
Yeah.
Spring Festival. It's great.
Yeah, which is just connected even more because obviously connecting with Riley, with Steph and everything, and because she knows drums and she knew what song you were going for, she knew how to dance to the beat, and it was really, really well done. And then obviously, then we go up to your floor to the next floor from your
yeah, the roof,
balcony, the balcony of the roof, yeah,
Go on the roof.
to the scene where you meet up with
Fairy
Steph and everything.
lights, the nighttime air.
Yeah,
Oh.
this. So Steph tells you that she's leaving. She's going to explore the world. Gets excited, and she's really excited because
Okay,
she's
I
really.
need to stop because I know we picked. Because again, so Moody and I are the only two people we have on our friends list who played this on Xbox. So what happened was at the end of every chapter and the end of the game, I could load up our thing and see what he picked and see what I picked. This is how we know every decision we both made. Because I then took photos and sent them all to him. And I know for a fact we pointed at different postcards. And I want to know what the fuck, what happens when you're like, yeah, let's move to the middle of the ocean.
Most bonkers thing ever. I really did. I just went. It was basically we just live under the water.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I can't fully remember. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Like in mine, I was like Salem, because that's where witches live, and they have a nice joke on about like her joining a lesbian witch coven, getting some cool tombstone rubbings so you can put up on our walls and stuff.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
that's so cool.
Yeah. So we go past that. Steph said, "You're not getting rid of me. I want you to come with me." Basically, says Steph saying, "There's another thing further down in episode 5 and everything, but this is basically Steph's kind of hinting, I want to be with you. You
Yeah,
can
this
tell
is-
I fucking think you're amazing, and I like the heck out of you and everything." And then you get given a choice to hug or kiss Steph.
Is it a choice?
No, it isn't a
At
choice.
this
There's no
point,
choice
if you've
whatsoever.
gotten to this moment, what? There's no choice.
There is no choice. There's no doubt about it.
The entire
We all-
conversation leading up to it was already like making my heart explode.
It was,
And then
yeah.
and then you pick the option to kiss her, but then you can do the little thing where you go and you read her emotions, and she's just there going, "Kiss me, come on, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me."
He's so scared.
And it's like, come on. But we're all in the same boat. It's like, kiss,
Do it!
kiss.
Stop it! I love the animation of Alex's face before she kisses her. She like smiles, tilts her head, and goes right in. I was thinking, yes, that's how we do it, people.
My little gay heart couldn't take it.
But no, it's an amazing. But what I love so much is that just like when you helped Ryan in episode 2, the emotion sparkles into gold, into happiness, splashes out,
It
and
explodes.
explodes, and it's amazing. It was another part of the game that brought me to
It's-
tears a little bit.
It's such a cool. It did bring me to tears a little bit because it's such a cool, like visual metaphorical representation of like that moment. Like we've all been there.
Yeah,
We all know the butterflies, the feelings, it just yeah, it's just yeah.
it's fantastic, and it's so
Yeah.
well done. Then you get arrested, Amy.
And you get arrested
You get arrested.
for gay crimes. I mean,
No, that does not happen. That does not happen.
because you stole a flash drive, because you've been doing criminal things.
Yes.
There's like what I find fascinating is, and I think this is gonna build into my point about chapter 5, is just like we haven't talked about the plot of the game at all in
Because
this
it's-
spoiler discussion, because for me personally, it's a side note, it's an afterthought, and I wasn't bothered. Like, don't be wrong, I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I just wasn't bothered. Like, if there was no like criminal conspiracy to uncover, like from this like big corporation that was covering up a bunch of shady shit, like I don't know, like I still love the game. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, this is the best way I think to acknowledge it. It's kind of how they express the game's stories in like Game of Thrones. There's an overarching arc that is a certain thing that's going to happen, but that is such a backstep that they hint at other things throughout all of it. But there's all these other things that are happening leading up to this one element, and that's what happens in this game. And it does it in such a really good way that when it's time to bring the main plot back, they do bring it back. And I think for me, it worked really well. Just like let the characters work, just let the characters do their job.
the end of
And let the
chapter 4 was great.
Yes. The end of chapter 4, I think, is amazing. There's no doubt about that. So you've been arrested. You're trying to, like, basically, Pike's trying to get you to sign a confession to say, yes, I will not do that. I confess, but I will not get
It's an
charged, blah, blah,
affidavit,
blah, type
innit?
of thing.
So it's just like you can't sue us or like pursue a wrongdoing against the company.
Yeah. And, or you can basically just say, no, I'm not signing this.
Fuck
I'm
you.
not signing this. Yeah.
Fuck you,
And
pig.
I
mean, I know
yeah,
you're a really nice guy, but fuck you, pig.
I was saying, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not signing this. And for me, I got Pike to be on my side. He helps me.
Yeah, you took his fear away. Yeah.
Yeah, I did as well. And it's a really good scene, though. That's like I said, like just each elements of like scenes is really, really well done.
Yeah, I like
And
I like the. Sorry to slow it down
do
a
not,
second.
you
I
do not
like
have to apologize.
I like the effect of it, because obviously I didn't take Charlotte's anger. So this moment where I'm taking Pike's fear away, this is the first time I've taken an emotion from someone. So like I liked the way it wasn't just like oh, I'm just gonna take this and then chuck it, like it's like she brings it into herself and she feels that fear, and you can see her feeling that fear like throughout the rest of the chapter, and I really like that.
Well, I'll say this just because I don't know if you'll know. If you take Charlotte's anger away and you go back upstairs and you see Ryan and Steph, they're ready to unlock the the USB drive and everything like that. But because when you start hearing the call that Gabe gave to say that yes, this needs to be stopped, blah blah blah, you get angry and smash the foosball trophy that they have,
Oh
and
no!
Steph walks out
I knew.
angry
I
and
obviously knew
upset.
something happened because there's
Yeah,
a thing where I
yeah,
was like, I didn't even see that choice. Like, I didn't know
yeah,
that was an
yeah,
option.
yeah.
Oh,
And Ryan
smashes the
leaves with
foosball trophy. Oh
yeah,
no! But there's loads of scenes with that foosball trophy later on, like in
yeah.
my game.
Yeah,
Like,
mine's still on the
ah,
floor. Mine, I think, there was just left on the floor.
I know it's like there's a scene later on. Um, yeah, there's a scene later on where like they're in the flat and she's got the foosball trophy and well,
Yeah,
no. I'm glad. I'm
yeah,
really glad I didn't do that now.
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I intend like, going off. I intend to replay this as soon as I can, and I'll be replaying that soon. And I'm going to be changing up a couple of choices. I'm going to be keeping a couple some choices because I want it to end up how I want it to end. But going back to now, we got out of the police station. We're now back at the pub, at the bar, and we've just come downstairs to come and see. Can you read Fresh's name for me?
Jed.
Jed. Come down and you're
Ryan's
there.
dad.
Ryan's dad. Yes, I forgot that. I
Which is
forgot
an
that by the
important plot point.
yeah, I completely forgot about it by episode 5, and then when things started to happen, I was thinking, "Oh shit!" I completely forgot it was Ryan's
I
dad.
can't wait to talk about the end scene with
Yeah,
you.
well, we're gonna get that in a minute, but yes, this scene I thought was perfectly illustrated of shit's about to go down type of scene. The lights are basically switched off, the bar's lights are turned on, and it's like red, and it's all covered in red basically, and you basically can see, it's telling you something's about to happen, and then obviously you start talking to Jed, and you basically tell Jed, I know what's happened, I have proof, blah blah blah, and then Jed reveals, I know, I've always known, blah blah blah, and I know what they were trying to cover up. And you go out
Well,
there.
he says, "I know," and she goes, "Oh, well, why didn't you tell me?" And he goes, "I'll do better. I'll show you." And I clicked in that moment, really.
Yes.
I knew what was about to happen.
Yes.
I was not happy.
Yes. I was like, no, why? What the hell? So you get to this part, you look down this mine shaft, you turn around, and
Why
Jed
are you
has
so sad?
yeah.
That's what I
because
love.
you
When
can-
she
yeah.
feels the sadness. So like, why are you so
Yeah.
sad?
And Jed pulls a gun out on you.
And the framing of the scene, like the cinematography we're talking about, the spoiler-free discussion, the way like you can't see him and she's standing up behind it. It's masterfully
Beautiful.
well done.
Yeah. Cinematography in this game, I think, is masterfully done throughout all of each episode, I think, personally, especially when it comes to the main moments. It's really done well. But no, he shoots her.
In the head.
You think, yes, in the head. Just a graze, because you see how she survived. How she survives this fall is beyond me. She should have some internal bleeding and broken ribs and etc. etc. But nope.
Gets
she
her fall
survives it.
broken at least once on the way down.
Yeah, I think that's probably how she survived, probably because it got broke once. But either way,
My issue
then we
wasn't
get-
necessarily that she fell and survived. My issue was that she got shot in the head.
when you see it, you can see it's a graze. It didn't go in, so it's all right. But now we're on to the final episode. This is where it comes home. It starts breaking down the story, bringing in the emotions of what is basically the backstory to Gabe and Alex, and obviously other
yeah.
elements that happen
All at
throughout the
once.
game, all at once. Yeah.
For an entire 90 minutes.
Yeah. And for the most part, I'll say this right now, I think it's very well done. I really enjoyed the elements. I think
So-
exploring the story of why, like the nuance of like the part when you in episode 1 where Gabe and Alex talk about their dad, and it's just like they don't say nice things about him, or at least Gabe doesn't. And you like it's
Nice.
come back full circle. You know why now. He walks out on them after
Because
Robin's
Alex
death.
is hallucinating because she's fallen down a mine shaft after they're getting shot in the head. I should probably
Yeah.
point that out. It's like, yes, the dead character does not come back to life.
No, yes, she is hallucinating. Or she's having a dream. She's knocked out.
She's sort of dreaming.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the dream is just like, fucking get up. Get up and fucking
rise
go.
up.
Rise up. But I don't disagree. I don't think it's a bad backstory. I don't think doing it all at once was a great idea. Like these things could have been dreams throughout the game. Like Alex even mentions at one point offhandedly about nightmares. But for me, what chapter 5? So in the spoiler free review we did, I mentioned that chapter 5
Didn't work for you.
nope. And it wasn't because like I didn't dislike any particular moment in the story. I didn't dislike any particular character moment or character interaction. The whole game, you exist in Haven Springs. You wander around Haven Springs. The joy of this game was interacting with the characters, and the entire of chapter 5 you just don't, because of the way the story is structured at that moment. You spend 90 minutes exploring a backstory, wandering around
a mine
shaft by yourself, and then you get back to town. You hobble into the bar after being shot in the head, and like there's a lot of cool exposition. There's some fantastic scenes again, but you don't interact with anyone or do anything. And then you go upstairs to the balcony and you have a chat with your spirit brother, the spirit of your brother, who tells you like, "Hey, if you stay in Haven, this is what's going to happen."
And there was another scene that
again,
brought me to tears.
It's an amazing scene, and I'm not mad at the scene specifically, but what I am mad at is the fact that again you don't get to interact with anything. You get to make one choice at the end of the game, which is do you stay or do you go, and then you're sitting on a fucking pier and the game ends. And my first annoyance is, where was the fucking bit at the end of the game where I could talk to all of the characters one last time? Ryan just fucking disappears. Like, and given the events of the scene where you're throwing out accusations, including, "Hey Ryan, sorry, but your dad did just try to kind of fucking murder me." Like,
and he also killed my dad.
And also he killed a bunch of people. And I never saw him again. And it was egregious for me because he sided with me. Like, that moment where you could do it, and I said, "Look, I'm sorry." And he said, "No, I'm sorry." And then he turned around and he was like, "Just tell them the truth, Dad." And like, it's such a heartbreaking scene where he's trying to get through to his dad who's lying, and he knows he's lying. But then he's gone. Like, you do the whole thing where you use your emotion reading powers to break through his exterior and get him to feel the guilt and confess. And Ryan just disappears.
Yeah.
And I was like, like everybody just disappears at that point. You get no more scenes with any of these characters, and that's what I meant in the spoiler-free review, where I was like, there's something missing from the end of this game, and that is one more chance to interact with all of these cool characters. And that's what I loved about the game, and there was none of it in Chapter 5, so that's why Chapter 5 really didn't land for me.
And I understand where you're coming from with that, but it didn't. I was fine with it because we had all of it for all the other 3 episodes or 4 episodes. So I can understand the conclusion that they were saying the story is now done. Let's wrap up. Make the decision. Do you stay or do you go and everything? I'll say for me, like, Ryan didn't side for me, and my character doesn't see him again, but I do see him one more time before me and Steph are about to leave. You see him basically by himself in pain, crying, upset, very upset with what he's done because he feels like complete shit. He
betrayed his best. Like, if you look at it from Ryan's perspective, and that's in your scenario,
he
betrayed his best friend. He betrayed his best friends. One of his best friends is dead. His dad is now in prison because he's a murderer, and his other 2 best friends are leaving town. Like, and you're telling me we can't just have one more conversation?
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I can headcanon from my perspective that it's going to be okay because he sided with me and we stayed in Haven and had an awesome life. And don't think I didn't see that wedding ring in the flash forward Deck 9. I saw it. And you play D&D with Ethan and you play video games, and like there are nice moments, but I just feel like I just didn't get enough closure, like with all these characters.
Oh, I understand that. I definitely understand that. The only element from the story that I felt shoehorned in was the dad. I understand that they want I understand the part of that showing why he left, why he was a crap father to them, and everything like that, or
Yep.
they feel like he was a crap father. But I didn't feel right that and like you told me, it seemed like that I completely didn't realize and missed. In episode 1, that Gabe basically says that he found his father and realized that he was
Yeah, it's like a
they
memory.
came
You know,
to
you can
this.
unlock.
He came to this town and everything, and everyone just says, "Oh, he just passed through and everything." But you realize he didn't pass through. He actually stayed and started a new life there, and he's killed by Ryan's father, Jed, by an accident or whatever, an explosion, and Jed has to make
From
a
what I can
decision.
understand, it was like he was blowing like into a tunnel, and everybody was
Yeah,
saying, "No, this is unsafe," and then he did it anyway,
yeah,
and then a bunch of people drowned.
yeah.
But he
People
saved
got
some other
some.
people. I don't get how they didn't realize like 8 people died, and like just disappeared
What?
off the face of the earth. Like, but I'm not bothered about the plot contrivances. That's really an aside for me. Um, like I don't understand how certain things happened, but I can let it go because I was deeply, deeply into this game.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I understand that. The only things like there's just a couple I would have liked just a couple of extra scenes like you see the scene like you're speaking to your dead brother, which is absolutely
It's a
fantastic
great
and amazing.
conversation.
It's a great conversation. He tells you what would have happened if
I
you
like it
stay.
where I like the framing of the conversation. Sorry to interrupt you. I like the framing
No,
of the
no,
conversation where
go on.
where Alex is just like, "So what do I do?" And then he goes, "Well, the best thing to do is to stay in town." And then you do the flash forward, which made me weep tears of joy. And then Alex goes, "Oh, okay." And then he goes, "Well, actually, you might be better off leaving." And it's just like,
And
you
it's like,
fucking dick.
yeah. So because we saw the scene, which was absolutely amazing, I decided to leave. I decided I'm going to go on an adventure with Steph. And then when you have it, it's the scene is like it's a good scene, but it's just like it's one scene. I thought you might have seen like just things of it could have just been like pictures of where they have gone, the adventure
Yeah.
they've gone on, and so it could have just been that, and I would have been like, but it's not. She's gone to a place to perform music. She gets a text from Steph and says, "Kick ass, babe," or something.
Yeah.
And that's it. And she starts singing, and then that's the end of the game.
I feel
And I was
like
just like,
yeah.
that's great. I love the game. It's fantastic, and I'm content with the endings and everything. I just wanted more. Like
Yeah.
we got the scene of what would happen if you stay, but where's the scene of what would happen if you leave?
And that scene
Where's-
was what tipped me over the edge to say, like, no, I want that. Like,
Yeah.
that entire thing, like running the record store with Steph, where you're both rocking out to the music and playing D&D with Ethan. And again, I saw that ring on Alex's finger. I'm just saying, and like you get to see this amazing future that they get to have together. And I was like, I dig it too much to say no. So I'm just gonna stay with Steph. It's beautiful and it's perfect, but I need closure with the rest of the cast. Thanks. I love these characters so much. Why can't I just have a little bit more closure?
I understand that.
And what you're telling me about the flip side of that, where it's like I left town and you got one scene, and it's just like I feel like the ending of this game was rushed.
Possibly. There is a possibility, or if this was just their decision that this is all we only need one scene, this is what we're gonna do, and I respect that. And
Unless
everything,
there's if they announce that there's DLC coming where you get the closure that I'm looking for, like some sort of epilogue DLC, like I will rescind my statement. But right now we've only got the base game, and I'm like I need more. Sorry.
Well, we know there's obviously prequel DLC coming where you play as Steph, where you play the year before Alex turns up, and it's basically the 4 seasons going through of like Steph becoming the manager of the record station and everything in her life there.
Learning how to do kung fu kicks while air drumming.
Basically, yeah.
Being the
It's
best
so.
Steph.
I've watched the trailer a few times, and I just can't wait to play it on the 30th. Like I'm
Gotta
downloading
admit,
that.
I don't normally go in
yeah.
for DLC, Moody, but I am gonna play the fucking shit out of Wavelengths.
No doubt about it. But thankfully we own it, so it's all good.
I was like, I'll buy it. I don't mind. I'll buy it. It's fine. I'll buy it.
Yeah, we touched on it. We've touched on it privately, but I think we have to shout out Alex's wardrobe is amazing.
Alex's wardrobe is. I want it.
Yeah,
I do want it. I'm not gonna lie.
Some of the jackets she wore, I was thinking, I like that leather jacket you have. I want it.
Like, especially in episode 4, I had a really big problem deciding what outfit to wear for episode 4. I chose the purple
Shit,
t-shirt.
you own a skirt.
I was gonna say that's one of the best bits. It's because it's not just because of the line. It's just like where she's just like, because Ryan's head's right next to the speaker and she's got the microphone and he's twiddling the thing and she's just going check, 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 and then Alex walks up and Steph just screams, "Holy fucking shit! You own a skirt!" And then Ryan's just like, "Yeah, thanks."
Right, I'm now deaf.
I'm deaf now. And
Yeah.
that's the kind of shenanigans like that, for me, made this game like such an amazing experience. Like I said in our spoiler-free review, every single time those three, or any combination of those three characters are together, like, you're talking game of the year for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I need to process. I only finished it this afternoon, so I need to process, like, chapter 5 basically to see like how I feel about the game as a whole. I think I'm going to be replaying it soon anyway, so
Oh yes, I like it. She's replaying it like it.
not for my benefit. I'm holding my, so me and Amy are going to start playing like games, like, you know, you play games on a couch and you just like and someone watches. It's like a backseat gaming experience. We talked
What you and me were gonna do.
and I'm holding my Xbox over, and because I've been playing True Colors, Life is Strange has come up as like a game to play, and I'm like, we're gonna skip to the True Colors, I think.
I think you have to. I think you have to.
I realize I now own the entire
me,
Life is Strange
so
series.
you can have it next to you, so as just I can be there.
Yeah, sure.
Picture, yeah. I'll give you a picture of me. So
I'll find
I'm
you I'll find an appropriate screenshot of a podcast, and I'll stick it to a pillow or something.
Yes, you do that. Yeah. For me, I'll say this right now. Like I said, it's my game of the year so far. I adored this game, and there's a huge chance that this will be my game of the year at the end of the year. Everything about this game I love. There's a couple of tweaks I would change. They're more nitpicks than anything for me. Bring it on. Like I've already said, like I have a Series X coming in November. I can't wait for that. This is probably going to be the first game I play on it, which is because I want to cheat with the extra power and visuals. Because this is already a sexy game in the old consoles. And I can just imagine how extra sexy it's going to look even in the big, powerful consoles. And I just can't wait for that.
It doesn't matter how many times I end up replaying True Colors in my life, I'm always going to romance Steph. I'm just going to say it out loud. I'm never going to do anything different in that respect. I might point you to a different postcard. But that'll be about it.
Yeah. I'll say I understand why Life is Strange 1 is probably overall the more favored for people, but this one is the better game. For me, I
couldn't even.
Well, don't worry, we got the remaster coming as well. But no, I loved it. It's just for me emotionally connected with what's happened with me. I think like I needed this. I needed this type of game just to show me elements of like, this is what you've been going through.
I think I'd be interested to play Life is Strange again. I am so sorry. I just cut you off and I just realized what you were saying and I don't want to cut you off from that, so please continue.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. No, honestly, it's fine. No, like I was saying, like this is a game that just connected with me and made me realize what I have been going through in my life this year. This last 9 months have been personally and privately a nightmare for me. And I've probably arguably alienated a lot of people in my life because of the pain I've been going through. Thankfully, one of them has not been Amy and everything, because like Amy's one of my favorite people. I'm not, that's true.
Sorry.
Like I'm amazed my partner hasn't liked it yet because I've been a miserable bugger, which she understands why I've been a miserable bugger, but I could also understand, now I'm done. I'm like, you need to start smiling more, bugger off. But no,
smile more.
Yeah. What's smiling?
Oh my god. Do you know how many times I've been told that in my life? Like, compared to in the last few years.
But this game made me smile. I was smiling throughout all of it. Not all of it. Like, there's obviously scenes that made me cry like a baby, but when the endearing moments happen and I'm just smiling like a kid. The LARP, I was smiling like a kid throughout all of it. The whole festival scene with the like giving a rose to Steph. The kiss with Steph, everything is amazing. Choosing to go away with Steph, I thought was amazing. Just turning up to the town and meeting Gabe, who you can see is just nothing but a genuine guy. Yes, he's had problems in his past, he admits that, because he went to juvie, got sent to, and everything, but he's a great guy, and you feel that right from the beginning. And I'll say again, I want that apartment.
I do too.
That's the greatest apartment ever.
I would be very interested to replay Life is Strange because I played that game pre-transition. I'm very interested to play that game again. But I connected so hard with Alex as a person.
Yeah.
Like, she reacts to things in a very similar way to me a lot of the time. So it was very easy for me to, ironically, it was very easy for me to empathize with her.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I know, like, part of it is, you get to choose how she reacts to things. But, like, in those moments where you don't get to choose how she, like when I went into detail much earlier in this ridiculously long video, when she meets Ryan for the first time, and it's just like, that's very true to me. So it was nice to see a lot of that in a video game character.
Yeah.
Especially a protagonist.
Agree.
And
Completely
also,
agree.
I want to close. I want to close. So I just do. I was sending pictures of the Noemi, just like, look at this, oh my god, look at this. I need this. Go out
next, we are finding this no matter what.
I want to find these exact clothes.
Yeah. The music, the cinematography, the visuals, the characters, everything. The story is just so well done.
Go check out our spoiler-free review for us waxing lyrical about all that stuff.
Yeah. Well,
it's such a good game.
I think we're done, Amy.
Hi, Steph.
That is it for our spoiler review of Life is Strange: True Colors.
My wife's on screen right now.
I can understand that. Let us know what you think of the game. Did you like it? Are you in the middle, or is there something that just didn't work for you? Did any element of this game make you feel of what like we were feeling? Affected you in any way? And is there a personal element that just made you smile brilliantly, and you just want to shout that out? Leave a comment down below, because we have got time to go and play more games now, and eventually review them late, because we are the Fashionably Late Review Show, and we are out of here. Say bye, Amy.
Bye, wifey. Oh, she's gone. Bye.
No!